Alright. Let's fix these options. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what is guaranteed to be the final game of this series. An incredible blind sieve show match between Lukas and Don Artie. And for this final match, they have chosen to play the classic European civilizations, the absolute bread and butter of AoE 3. In the north of the map, we have got Lukas in blue playing as the Brits. In the south of the map, sorry, take that back. We've got Don Artie in the north of the map playing as the French. Very professional. In the south of the map, playing in blue, we have got Lukas as the Brits. So, of course, Don Artie already played the British early in the civilization. In this game, you can only play each one once. So, two of the most popular, original legacy civilizations being used right now. Often considered to favor somewhat the Brits, but we'll have to see whether it favors the Brits right now with Lukas playing them. Neither of these players, this having gone to game 8 and going very, very deep, it's, you know, both players using civilizations that they're not particularly accustomed to playing. So how well they adapt, we're going to have to wait and see. Let's see the start that the French player's gone for. So he's playing France on the non-TP map, which is interesting. So I'm not sure how well France can really do on this map without a trading post. So very, very curious stuff. He's also not putting down a market, Don. So curious stuff here. In the meantime, a little bit of a battle going on here between the explorers, forcing Lukas to retreat. Take a look at Lukas playing the Brits and what he's going to do. So he doesn't have Virginia Company in his deck. He is sending the 3 settlers first of all. And, I mean, on this map, obviously just very, very British favoured. Of course, just to remind you, the player that wins this will take it down. Don Artie doing a good job of forcing Lukas's Explorer all the way back. Going to lose quite a lot of health right now, but shouldn't really matter because he's going to get him underneath the town centre fire quick enough. Don just randomly flaming Kaiser Klein for absolutely no reason, reminding us all of his famous global championship victory. Let's look at the... James Drake is a British explorer. What is the explorer's name? And... Oh, Kaiser Klein's explorer is called Kaiser Wine. Okay. Well, that's between Don and Kaiser Klein. The French explorer does go down, though. So Lukas there managing to take down Kaiser Wine, the French explorer. Now the market going down for Lukas, playing the Brits, so I don't know what Don Artie is going to try and do to win this game. Very, very interesting game. He's managed to collect a lot of llamas, so that he's got going for him. Let's take a little look at his deck. Pretty standard. Keister, I think it's... the name of the explorer is the drama, I think. So... Don Artie is chopping for a trading post in transition on a map with no trading posts. I think he's just realised right now that he's picked France on a... on a map where they're not going to be very well favoured. So he's got that 200 wood, which I guess he instead is going to be able to use for a barracks. So we've got the racks now going down. Oh dear, the racks going down now for the British player next to the mine, and an outpost coming from the age up to be next to that. Don Artie being forced to retreat with those 2 CDBs, and he's now going to go for a more defensive racks. So he's got plenty of wood, having collected the wood for the TP during transition, and now having the 400 wood from the age up. Rex now goes down. And we've got some Musk on Musk action going on. The difference being that Lukas has managed to take some good positioning on the map here with that outpost. So he's stolen the center of the map nice and early. Take a look at see what Lukas is going. So he's got Placa mines coming in. And Don looks like he's basically going to go for... Well, this is very, very dangerous to be shoving in those musketeers right underneath that outpost. And he's had a change of heart very quickly. Second rack's now going down for Lukas. This isn't going to be the way to do it for Don. He does have 2 racks himself. See what he's training. Well, he's got double musk. But he's run out of pop space, so they ended up being a very small batch, despite having some more resources. Now he's got some gold that's sent through, but he's completely popped and he's not got any wood. So he's sending them in again, but he's actually not got more musks than his opponent. And this is not a good fight to happen underneath the outpost. So it's underneath the outpost and his opponent's got more musks. You don't really want to get in a musk on musk action at France against Brits. He does manage to get down another house finally, but I mean, again, he's pretty much capped at the power he can put on right now when he's not got any additional houses. So he can't keep printing these. In the meantime, look at the pop space difference, of course, with Lukas building those manor houses for the economic benefit of those additional villagers. So all this time, Lukas has been booming. He's now up to 39 villagers compared to 24 for France. Even when taking into account the CDBs, it's not going to be enough. And Lukas is now going to decide to push, and that barracks might go down. I'm not sure that Don's got anywhere near enough military to deal with this. Now, behind this, Don is aging, and Lukas likely senses that this is happening. And so, sensing that this aging is happening, he's starting to push right now and take down this barracks, which I'm guessing at this point, Don really wishes was on the other side. Not right here. But he's got a shipment, he's got the falconets to come, so really he wants to just manage to keep on to these musketeers as long as he can. But these villagers are way out of position, and those 3 or 4 CDBs are likely all going to go down. And it looks like Don doesn't really... Oh, now he's managed to pop the... I tell you what, he's popped the CM. And now it's going to be quite close. He's got those CDBs in there soaking up damage. And all behind this, he's aging up. And this is quite close. So let's have a look. We've got 13 musks for Don Artie. Lukas has got 17. But in there's some militiamen as well. Together with a town centre fire. Which has got... There's no town centre fire. There's no villagers inside there. But he's managed to repel this. Don Artie has repelled this. And in the meantime, he's aged up. And he's got the falconets coming. And all of a sudden, I don't know, has the momentum shifted? And Don might be ahead. He's not ahead in score. He's not ahead in vills. But he's just about to be age 3. He's got another batch of musketeers coming. And he's got falconets that are about to pop behind all of this. And if he can get a big volley of these falconets out, which are about to pop, you can feel that he's trying to kind of bait him in right now. He's trying to bait him in because basically he wants them. And can he get a volley from these falconets off? Can he manage to do it? He's about to try. Now is he going to turn around? And he is going to get a volley off. Although he does a very, very good job splitting those musketeers and not losing too much. But this is it now. Don's going to go for the big timing push. And if he can take down this outpost, he might be in a good position. It was never repaired, so it's already just down to 1,300. And just a few more shots from these falconets, but he badly needs some more. He does have more musketeers coming in. They're not veteran musketeers. He doesn't have the resources to do that. But the outpost is going to go down. And now he's going to try and take this down. He's taking the middle of the map. Now, the difference is that behind all of this, Lukas has 43 villagers to 22. Even when taking into account the CDBs, Lukas is very significantly ahead on eco right now. He's sending some more musketeers as a shipment from the home city. So it's going to be another 6 musketeers, but that's not going to do a huge amount at this point in the game. The 6 musketeers, especially as long as those full health falconets lay on the field. Just 500 hit points left on that barracks, which is going to go down with one more hit, and it does. Oh, and now, here's the question. Does Don Artie spot the cav coming in from behind? Does he manage to defend these? He does spot it. Oh, and he's going to shred all of the cav. The cav are not going to get anywhere close to these. And this is just a battle of the micro, and who's going to win it? One falconet goes down. The other falconet gets another good hit away on this. Going to get one more shot off. Yes, it can. But it looks like the cav just about did their job. But these are veteran musketeers against age 2 musketeers. So Don is fighting with better musketeers. But are there going to be enough of them? I'm not sure. Does he have any more reinforcements coming in? No, he doesn't. Oh, and this is incredibly close at this point. And at this point, it does look like Don is deciding to stick with it. He's got the skirmishers coming in, which if he can just take care of these cav, there's not going to be much answer to the skirmishers. They're getting a bit caught up and snared by these cav. He badly, badly needs these skirmishers to come in. They're going to do a lot of work, 8 skirmishers in the context of this match. But he has lost a lot of units in the meantime. Scores are very, very close. We've got 25 villagers against 45 villagers, so a big economic advantage. But still, the British players playing in... Lukas is playing in age 2. So Don needs to push this very, very quickly as long as his opponent is stuck in age 2. Because he's about to have that coin come through. And as soon as that coin comes through, he's going to age up. That's exactly why that coin's been sent. So Don is now deciding to push and try and use those skirmishers. And that is very, very, very annoying for Don Artie. That town centre was so important, and it was going down there to take some map control. And that is just incredibly unfortunate that the Explorer just manages to go down. So neither play with their Explorer right now, but Don really, really needed that Explorer. That he was a lot of resources committed to building that town centre, which is now not going to go down at all. He's got another shipment available. Lukas is surely aging up right now, and he is. So Don's in a very, very tight window to take advantage of this situation right now. If he doesn't take advantage of the situation soon, then that window is going to close. He's basically fighting in the only window he's going to have all game. Explorer has come back to life. And now building that town center. And that window does look, however, to be closing. Because Lukas is about to have his answer to these skirmishers. Now he's going to manage to take down this stable pretty easily. Really, really good management of his resources there. Keeping his resources at almost exactly 0 this whole game, which you definitely love to see. That town center is going to get up, even if the Cav manage to get hold of that Explorer. They're not going to be able to stop it going up. It's almost completed. The stable's going to go down. And Don is basically taking his last opportunity to try and push and take down the game. Score's still very, very close. Both playing in Age 3 now. And Don, seeing that his opponent's gone Age 3, recognizes this is basically his last chance to take that. Not many units around for Lukas. And Don is basically going straight in for the meat, going straight towards that town center. He's incredibly exposed. The game is basically going to be won or lost in this moment. They're still musketeers, not veteran musketeers, and they're about to become veteran musketeers in just 1 second. And the falconets are about to pop, but the falconets... Oh my god, if the falconets pop right now, they're going to be completely surrounded. This is all going to come down to how well he manages these falconets. Where are they going to pop out? They're going to pop out roughly where he wants them, and Don is in a world of trouble right now. He's going to be surrounded, and he's going to get huge volleys off from these, and this is looking very, very painful from being in a commanding position, walking and putting on all of the pressure, and all of a sudden, he's got snared by the Cav. The falconets are putting in shots behind, and we've got, well, just the third. I tell you what, he's lost a lot of units there, but he did do some damage because the British player is down to 35 villagers, 31 for Don Artie, but he's got CDBs in there as well, so altogether, it's still looking pretty close. So, 31 against 30, 32 now against 36. But again, with the CDBs, that puts Don ahead. So, I mean, he managed to escape with quite a lot of units there. He does have 2 TCs. He's got 1 TC on the other side of the map. He's got map control. In the meantime, he's getting a couple of raids away there. Doesn't look like that raid was very successful. I mean, that's very expensive. You don't want to lose a veteran cuirassier. But he did manage to take down more villagers too. They're down to 33 villagers for each player right now. So he lost a bunch of villagers during that big fight underneath the town center, and then those veteran cuirassiers managed to take down 3 or 4 more villagers right there. And at this point in the game, you've got to say... Oh, that's an unfortunate loss of a cuirassier there, right there. But at this point in the game, you're going to have to say that Don Artie is ahead. 34 villagers to 34. You've got to take into account the benefit from the CDBs. Both playing in Age 3, otherwise equal. 2 town centers for Don Artie. And now he's, well, they're both players are, well, just the French player Don Artie has popped. And now this is finally a bit of an annoyance for Don Artie. He's having to bring back the CDBs right now because of the pressure going on to this town center. Now, the biggest issue that he's got is he's not got any way to deal with these falconets. These falconets... Well, he's just going to decide to go ahead and push, even though the falconets... And now he's going to... Oh, now he's popping out all the CDBs. He's just going to go for it. He's just going to go all in. He's got the CDBs on top of the falconets in melee. And now the falconets have been left behind completely. They've been completely exposed. They've not been protected. Don Artie manages to take them down. And he's been completely wiped out. They were lost for almost nothing. This cav is completely out of place on the wrong side of the map. And Don Artie's got the bigger mass. Take a look at the Ville camp. Got 36 villagers against 38 for Brits. So that does put France ahead overall. He did sacrifice a few in that fight, but it was absolutely worth it as he used them to take down the Falconets. And Lukas, unfortunately for him, just left them there. And again, Musketeers now being trained from a Rex that is completely in no man's land, which is going to get taken down right now, even though as far as Don's concerned, it's completely fine that that's there, because it's not actually doing anything apart from creating units that are being pumped out into the middle of nowhere. Lukas now, look where he's being forced to mine, and these militiamen, well, they're going to get killed by the villagers very, very quickly, so that's not going to be a problem. And Lukas now with a pretty good raid, going to take down a few CTBs here. 2 CTBs go down. So a bit of a villager gap opening up, but when you take into account the CDBs, Don Artie's still ahead by 300 on score, which is obviously not meaning very much. In terms of the map, it does look like Don's in a better position, and now he's going to force Lukas away from this mine and away from this hunt. So he's forced to now go over to this side of the map. A raid over here would be incredibly powerful. An attempted raid going on here from Lukas, but looks like Don's just right-clicking, but I'm not sure he needs to do that. Take a little look at the difference here. Well, the difference that we've got here is that there's only 5 longbows, and there's a bunch of 12 veteran skirmishers here, which are going to absolutely shred the veteran musketeers. This raid continues over here, which is annoying for Don Artie. Forces him to use a bit of APM to deal with that. Does he notice it? He does notice that. He's basically just using them to fight. In the meantime, Don continuing to push, pushing all of these villagers away from where they want to be. Don't forget, there's a lot of skirmishers mixed in here. The skirmishers are going to do a lot of work. And this is going to be an absolute cleanup for Don Artie, because this is not just a Musk on Musk fight. This is a Musk and skirmisher fight on just Musk. He now does pop the militiamen behind, but even the militiamen's probably not going to be enough to prevent the cleanup right now. Now we've got goons coming from Don Artie. Take a little look at Lukas, and Lukas isn't training anything. So that's the issue that Lukas has got. Then again, I mean, he's doing pretty well in this. He is forcing Don Artie back, but he's not got anything trained apart from he's sending the 10 longbow. The 10 longbows are going to do really, really well right now. And has Don Artie just slightly overcommitted right here? Suddenly that mass is depleted. He's got 10 more veteran skirmishers coming in. And the game is still extremely tightly poised. In the meantime, oh wow, Don's saying he had some idle units, and if you look here, he had 10 musks over here, which would have been very, very useful in that fight. But in saying that, what Don Artie still has is total map control. So, I mean, he's now forcing Lukas off this hunt over here. He's got so many idle villagers. 41 total British villagers to 37 for France. That still puts France ahead on eco. Because, of course, his CTBs are going to be doing better. And that is still a very significant mass there for Don Artie. And even with all of those longbows, it looks like more mass. I mean, you'd love to see some hussars in there. Some French hussars would be very, very powerful, because that longbow mass is still going to do some pretty good work. Now, smartly, Lukas is just training longbows right now, because longbows is going to do very, pretty well in this composition. But France is just ahead on eco. And even these little raids aren't doing enough to change that. And the problem for Lukas here is that he's really, really shoved off all of the important parts of the map, whereas these two TCs have complete coverage for Don Artie. I mean, in fact, Lukas hasn't actually made a second town center either, so... I mean, these raids are annoying, but they're not really affecting the balance. He's just 2 villagers behind. Again, not taking into account the impact of the CTBs. He is going to lose 1 CTB here. And like Lukas is showing good APM using just those 2 cav to cause a disturbance. I mean, just 2 cav there forced on Artie to basically change the trajectory of that entire mass, which is really, really intelligent play. Because that mass was heading over here to deal with these villagers, which is not what Lukas wanted to happen. So he's using those... a very, very small number of cav really, really impactfully. Over here, he's basically doing the same thing. So Lukas has done a really good job in running Don Artie around, but Don Artie's still just definitely ahead in terms of eco. Now sending in the cavalry combat, which is going to be very effective for those dragoons. Don Artie calling it exactly as I'm saying, the old run around. Using very, very few units to do it. So basically exactly as we were saying. Doing a great job of running his opponent round there. And that last cav's about to go down. So now it looks like Lukas is going to try and make some kind of push with these longbows. Look at the range on them. Oh, they're just picking off those CTBs there. So I mean, he's doing a great job with that. I love that. Choosing the flank, sending units down both sides. Really, really smart. Lukas is actually ahead on score, although... by a very small amount. 39 vills to 47. I tell you what, Don Artie is pulling himself back into the game. However, these veteran cuirassiers are likely to be what makes the difference. Because he's now got, if those cuirassiers, with their very high hit points and attack, can get onto those longbows, and all of a sudden, there are very, very few musks left for Lukas. Lukas is focused very, very heavily on longbow production, which was the right play. But that is going to end up causing a bit of a problem. The cuirassiers now, well, they're going to have been scouted as they take down these villages. 45 to 39 right now. Don Artie taking down a houses, but he knows he can't pop his opponent, so I'm not sure if he wants to be focused on taking down these manors at this point. Doesn't really matter. And at some point, this is going to head for a big confrontation, and the question is who wins it. This game is really, really, like, essentially impossible to call at this point. Again, I don't like that Don is focused on these manors, because these manors aren't going to do very much. So the real question is going to be whether or not Don can get rid of the cav, get rid of these musketeers, and have these cuirassiers go to town on these longbows, because they're going to eat them very, very, very quickly if he can. Going for a raid here. Well, both players are essentially raiding each other. Lukas is realizing that he's not going to win that with the veteran dragoons coming in from behind. Keeping a close eye all the time on the Vil count, 41 against 51. So now it's actually got a bit closer, and possibly even the British players ahead with the 10 more villagers. The CTBs aren't, well, that's very, very close when you take into account the faster gathering rate of the CTBs. Looks still like Don Artie's got more of a mass. The score is 2,000 ahead for Lukas. And Don is the one that's choosing to push. He does have a shipment to send. Both players have got a shipment to send. Cavalry, hand cavalry hit points now coming in. So these are very, very strong cav between that and that. And this is basically it. He's going for it. The cuirassiers he's sending to actually raid instead of getting in on that fight, which is going to be very interesting to see what happens. This is basically the fight that's going to be for the match. The veteran cuirassiers are trying to get on top of the longbows, but the musketeers are doing a good job of surrounding them. but they're going to be able to get into the meat. That's a huge mass that Don's got behind that. The scores go to level. I'm not sure where those cuirassiers are going. They're trying to get away from those musketeers. It does look like just about with the skirmishers behind that mass that Don's going to be able to just about take this fight out. What he has done is run out of cav to deal with those longbows. Those cav went down pretty quickly. He really wants those cuirassiers to be on top of the longbows, but it looks like he's still got too much of a mass. He's going to be able to deal with this. Don Artie is going to be able to clean this up here. He's now sending in the CTBs, but I don't think he needs to do the CTBs because this is going to turn into a cleanup. He's pulling ahead on the score. I don't know that Lukas has got a way back into this game, and is Don going to win with French on the no TP map? I think he's going to. Lukas calls GG, congrats. And Don Artie makes a victorious comeback to AoE 3 after his pause in the